So 2022 is coming to a close, and I'll be honest, it hasn't really been my favorite year when it came to music, so much so that I don't even know if I can make a best of list. Not a whole lot really stood out. Not to say there weren't some great records to come out, everything just honestly felt like nothing I hadn't heard before. Except maybe Big Thief. That shit rocked. Anyway, while I may not have loved everything that came out this year, I did make some pretty amazing discoveries this year. Most notably, Modern Baseball. Modern Baseball quickly became one of my top 3 favorite bands, but then my heart broke after finding out that they'd been on an indefinite hiatus since 2016 with no sign of returning. After trying to learn more about the band, I learned that Jake and Ian were still pursuing music, Slaughter Beach Dog, which is a band I can only describe if an A24 art house coming-of-age movie became a band. Slaughter Beach Dog, in my opinion, is storytelling at its finest. Jake Ewald is known for being a storyteller first and foremost when it comes to his music, and while in Modern Baseball the stories he tells are engaging and relatable as hell, in Slaughter Beach Dog the band is like a musical novel that won't end, but you don't really want it to end because each story is just so good and unique. With all that out of the way, yes, Slaughter Beach Dog's Live at the Cabin is my favorite album of the year. Yes, it is a live album and a compilation album, but when I listen to these songs with only Jake and his acoustic guitar, I still feel like each song was purposefully placed to tell a cohesive story within the album. This is a live album with no audience, and honestly for me, that only enhances the experience. Hearing these songs that I have heard before, stripped down to only a man and his acoustic guitar, gave each song such a lonely feel to it. But like with most Slaughter Beach Dog songs, there's this wholesomeness there that's just screaming at you. It's clear that Jake wants you to listen to the lyrics and realize the tone each song is meant to have. When I hear the opening acoustic riff to the opening track, My Girl, immediately I get the sense that a movie is starting in my head. An unconventional romance movie, but still something that's engaging. Jake always knows exactly how to grab the audience's attention within his first few lines. And the opening lines of My Girl, the opening lines of Live at the Cabin, immediately set the tone.
My girl loves me for my TV, stays in shape on the rowing machine. Every Friday night we fuck on the floor. I don't know what I would do without her.
And what's great is that even though this is clearly a parody of love songs, the romantic sound of the guitar never lets up. It's great. And honestly, My Girl is just a taste of this record's rawness and beauty. The rest of the album feels like a great response to the song before it and adds so much more to this love story that Jake is presenting to us. I never feel this sense of misunderstanding within this love story. I never feel a sense of dread within this love story, but Jake still managed to make everything feel so real and believable lyrically. Even though I had heard all these songs before in their original recording, I feel like Jake did a really great job making these songs feel fresh and new. And in some cases, I feel like some of these songs are better than the original recording. Hearing each song with this stripped down lonely feel most of the time elicits a different kind of response out of me that the original recording didn't give to me before. I feel the honesty and weight in Jake's songwriting more. I'm able to pick up Jake's very unique guitar playing skills and how he adds more flavor to each song. I don't think there's a bad track to be found here. I think Jake handled each song very well and carefully, as I've stated before, but Shapes I Know and Acolyte I think are the true highlights here. Both songs could not be more different from each other. Shapes I Know is much darker lyrically than Acolyte, but with the acoustic version of Shapes I Know, I started to realize that the song, especially the acoustic version, is meant to give a comforting feeling, because the song, to me at least, is about trying to find comfort in a situation that you don't understand.
in the cruiser with the lights off. The station looks the same.
Acolyte is, well, it's Acolyte. It's the most well-known Slaughter Beach Dog song, and the Live at the Cabin version just ups the love and wholesomeness of Jake's lyrics. Hearing the lyrics, "Man, it cuts like a dull knife when you're young and you're told, makes sense when you're older, darling, let's get old," just hits different on the Live at the Cabin version because of how Jake presents it.
Man, it cuts like a dull knife when you're young and you're told, it makes sense when you're older, darling, let's get old.
Live at the Cabin is one of the most beautiful acoustic albums I may have ever heard. It truly felt like Jake added more heart and soul to these songs, while feeling like the entire album is one cohesive story, even though they're songs we've heard before. It's an album I've been listening to on repeat. I've been listening to it while I fall asleep, and it further proves why Jake Ewald is my favorite songwriter.